Welcome to The Explainer. Well, the wait is finally over. GPT-5 is here. The hype around this thing has been absolutely off the charts for months, right? We've heard all these promises of a huge leap forward for AI, but now that it's actually in our hands, we've got to ask, does the reality live up to all that hype? Is this really the game changer we were all expecting?
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about how you can actually get your hands on it. Then, we'll see how it did on some really tough tests. After that, we'll dive into the big debate happening around its coding skills. We'll also tackle that huge AGI question head-on. And finally, we'll give you our final verdict on what this all really means for you.
So first things first, the release. GPT-5 is officially out, and maybe the biggest surprise right out of the gate is how OpenAI is actually letting people use it. And this is a really big deal. It's a major shift in their strategy. For the very first time, the base model, the new powerful one, is being rolled out to everybody for free. I mean, that alone is huge for getting it into more people's hands. Now, of course, if you're a Plus subscriber, you still get your perks, like higher usage limits. And for developers, you can see they're getting really aggressive with API pricing, especially with that super low-cost Nano model.
Okay, but getting it for free doesn't mean a whole lot if it's not any good, right? So how does it actually perform? Well, when you look at the standard tests, let's just say GPT-5 didn't just show up to the party. It came out swinging. So check this out. It's now #1 in the Ella Marina rankings. And this isn't some test run in a sterile lab somewhere. Ella Marina has this brilliant system where millions of real, everyday users compare outputs from different AIs. And they do it blind. They don't know which is which. And the results were just crystal clear. People preferred GPT-5's answers, hands down. That's what put it right at the top.
And when you dig into the specific tests, some of these numbers are just staggering. A perfect 100% on a really advanced math test. It aced almost 75% of a coding benchmark that's known for being incredibly difficult. Yeah, okay, it got beat on one humanities exam, but let's be real, these other scores represent a massive, massive jump in what this thing can do.
But the story gets even more interesting when you look beyond those standard tests. It looks like OpenAI has a surprising new focus: health. They have their own internal test, the SWE-Bench, which is designed to see how well an AI handles medical knowledge and reasoning. And guess what? GPT-5 set a brand new record. It blew all the past models out of the water.
And this is where that performance starts to really matter in the real world. As Justine Moore from A16Z points out here, people were already asking ChatGPT health questions, right? We all know someone who's done it. So by leaning into this, OpenAI is basically saying, okay, we see you. It's a signal that using it for health stuff is shifting from this kind of risky off-label use to a more officially recognized application. And that is a huge deal.
But the story isn't all sunshine and perfect test scores. When we get to the world of coding, things get, well, a lot messier. We're seeing this really interesting split between what they showed in a flashy demo and what the actual pros are saying.
I mean, on the one hand, you see these incredibly promising stories from users. Like this one, where someone threw some debugging problems at it that were so tough, no other AI had ever been able to solve them. And GPT-5, it cracked them. That really suggests there's a genuine improvement in how it thinks and reasons.
And this right here is the heart of the debate. In that live demo, we watched it build an entire video game from just one simple sentence in minutes. I mean, it was jaw-dropping. But then you talk to some professional developers, the people who are in the trenches, coding every single day, and you hear a totally different tune. A lot of them are saying that for their day-to-day complex work, they'd still rather stick with a competitor like Claude.
And this whole debate, it really leads us to the biggest piece of the hype puzzle. For months, the buzz was all pointing to one thing: that this would be a major step towards artificial general intelligence, AGI. So, let's actually look at the data and see where GPT-5 didn't quite live up to that massive expectation. One of the loudest critiques, and Elon Musk made sure a lot of people heard it, focuses on one specific test. It's called the ARC AGI-2 benchmark, and it was created specifically to measure that AGI style of reasoning. And on that test, GPT-5 wasn't the leader. It was actually beaten. You can see it right here on the chart. GPT-5 scored just under 10%. Its competitor, Grok 4, hit almost 16%. Now, let's be totally clear.
Neither of these scores is fantastic. It just goes to show you how ridiculously hard true AGI-level thinking really is. But the fact is, on the test that's arguably the most important one for this whole AGI conversation, GPT-5 came in second place.
And this wasn't just some online chatter. It had a real impact on market confidence, a big one. On Polymarket, where people bet real money on this stuff, the odds of OpenAI having the best model by the end of August just fell off a cliff. Before the launch, it was over 70%. Right after, it plummeted to less than 20%.
Wow. Okay, so we've looked at the big wins, we've heard the divided opinions, and we've seen where it falls short of the AGI hype. So, what's our final call? What does all of this actually mean for you?
So here's the bottom line. GPT-5 is not AGI. The revolution was not televised because, well, it hasn't happened yet. But it would be a huge mistake to see this as a disappointment. This is still a really powerful, really valuable upgrade that genuinely pushes the envelope of what AI can do for us today.
So let's just boil it all down to the key things you need to know. First, you're getting amazing value, especially with that free access. Second, you should definitely expect to see real improvements in how it helps with writing and coding. Third, keep a really close eye on those health applications. That's a huge new frontier. And finally, just remember to think about this the right way. This is a powerful evolution, not the AGI revolution. Well, not yet anyway.
And all of this leaves us with one final big thought. GPT-5 shows us what powerful refinement looks like. But because it fell short of all that AGI hype, it makes us ask an even bigger question. If this isn't that next giant leap forward, then what does that next major step in AI even look like? And how far away are we, really, from taking it?